What's up, Cary?
Oh, hey Jeff, what's going on?
How's it
I didn't see
going?
you come in. I'm all right.
What's new?
Just hanging out by myself at the arcade with all my games on
Oh, boy.
while we're closed.
Playing some games.
Yep.
Cary,
Yeah.
so how did you come up with the idea and what was the inspiration for you to open an arcade?
Well, if we could go outside if it wasn't raining, literally about 50 feet from here, there was an arcade in the early 80s, around 1982, called The Place.
Really?
And I used to go there with my parents and ride my bike up there when I was a kid. And that's why, you know, kind of to pay homage to the original arcade that I hung out
Nice.
in. That's why I named it The Place.
Sweet.
This building had sat vacant for a while. And it just, every time I drove by it, I mean, it looked like an arcade type building. It was actually a flower shop when I was a kid.
Really?
So it had coolers and stuff in it. So there's actually 11 separate 20 amp circuits between these two rooms.
Oh,
so like
lucky.
the electric worked out perfect.
Lucky.
You know what I mean? So
That is
you only
awesome.
want to put, you know, you don't want to overload your circuits
yeah,
when you put,
absolutely.
you know, most games are 2 to 3 amps on average, and you know, ideally you only want to put about 18 amps per circuit.
Yep.
You know, about 80%. So.
Cool. So who did the artwork, the logo and everything? Kind of based off of
Back to the Future. Yeah, my brother-in-law. Yeah, here's like you can see one of our cards, but as it shows more. But yeah, the actual logo was kind of my idea.
Oh, I like it.
But my brother-in-law, who's a graphic designer,
Nice.
we worked on it together, and you know, he did a lot of the things you see hanging out, like the fake marquees hanging up around the arcade.
Oh, yeah.
And he did this on the front of our counter.
Love it.
Our counter, this is actually, it's got shelving units behind it where we used to do console systems also.
Oh,
So it's
cool.
got lockable doors and shelving units, and then this is actually going to Boss Battle Games in Indianapolis.
Oh, it is?
And I told them they could have this and use this as long as they kept my logo on there.
Are they going to do it?
And they said they would, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so at least I'll still be out there.
It'll be out there.
Yeah.
This place is amazing. I
Thank
love
you.
it. I love
Thank
it.
you.
So
Yeah,
you know what? Enough of that. Let's talk about the games. What do you
Okay,
say?
okay.
Let's take a little tour.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, Computer Space is widely considered the first commercially sold arcade video game in the world. Came out in 1971. Predates Pong by 6 months or so,
Wow.
I believe. This one actually works, but the board set is out on loan right now because there's a guy working on like a repro board to put in the computer spaces because there's so many that are not running anymore. So basically this will be a plug and play board set for all those people who have non-working computer spaces.
It's mint.
You know, because yeah, it's so hard to, you know, get these. It's got a 3-board stack in it. It's all discrete logic, so there's just not enough people out there that work on this stuff anymore. So the yellow, they made these and they made a 2-player green. They made them. There's one white one, which I believe they consider a prototype. You can actually see it in the movie Soylent Green
Oh, wow.
with Charlton Heston in the background. And they made them in blue, red, and yellow. Yellow is considered to be the rarest color. Anything you read on the internet, they say there's maybe 8 of them in existence, yellow, that they made.
The yellow ones? Oh, wow.
I've found as many as at least 20 out there.
Oh, wow.
So still not very many, but very iconic game. Fiberglass cabinet, weighs less than 100 pounds, got a 13-inch TV in it. Very similar to Asteroids. Not a very fun game, very primitive.
Just a good talking piece. But
Oh yeah.
A great collector's
Great
item.
conversation piece. Really cool to look at.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I see, okay, next game up, you got Paddleball.
Yeah, this is a 1973 Williams Paddleball. A lot of people consider Defender Williams' first game, but actually this Paddleball was Williams' first game. It's just a Pong clone. There were a lot of different clones of Pong back in the day.
See, I
And,
didn't even know that Williams made a version of Pong. I
Yeah.
didn't even know.
Yeah, you can see it right on there.
That is
But
sweet.
yeah, it's a beautiful cabinet. It's in great shape. I got this one up out of Columbus. I was very fortunate to find it.
So what we got, Crystal Castles is a game. I don't really see them that much out
Nah,
there.
you don't see them too often. I would say it's a rare machine, but you don't see them real often. Basically, you're this little bear, and you got a wizard hat, and he's kind of. Yeah, I'll show you. I'm not gonna pretend to be good at it, but you do all these little dots on this kind of like three-dimensional maze, and Mark Alpiger was here. He could better explain this than I can. Mark once held the world record on this. He's actually been here on occasion. I had him sign my machine for me. I co-hosted that tournament with him last April, which was actually a really neat event.
Yeah, that's a great game.
Yeah, there's the honey pot. And like I said, there's a wizard hat that you get, and basically gives you invincibility.
Kind of makes you wonder what they were thinking when they designed this one for sure.
Yeah, what were they smoking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are those dots, really?
Yeah.
Is it special?
Yeah, that's those are just hits of acid, is what those are.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the truth.
Actually, they remind me of those little
set you
things
free.
when I was a kid. Remember that candy, and you get on the little
Yeah.
piece of paper with the
You
little
lick 'em
dots.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, the cabinet's gorgeous.
Yeah.
no doubt.
Neat artwork.
All right, Cary, so this is the front of the arcade.
Yep.
Sweet. So what do we got hiding over here in the corner?
Oh, we got Arkanoid, Frogger, and Tempest. And you can't see it, but back in the hallway back here where the restrooms are, I actually have a Quicks machine that I need to get up and running. I actually have 6 board sets for it, and I've had it running on several occasions, and it just keeps dying on me.
That's a tricky one to
So,
keep running, isn't
yeah,
it? I've heard that one's tricky.
I found a guy that actually can repair them. It's just a matter of getting those board sets off to him and
That's
getting
actually, I
thing
love
up
that
and
game.
running.
That's actually a great
it's a great game.
Frogger, we got classic Frogger.
Yeah, Tempest.
Tempest.
Everybody has to have a Tempest.
You know what? I've had my Tempest. I cannot keep it running. It gets
Really?
I get so frustrated with it. I'm
Yeah.
having edge connector problems, and I'll get it working eventually.
This is actually my 4th Tempest that I've owned. I had a cocktail, and I've had 3. This is my 3rd upright
That's nice.
that I've owned.
All right,
So-
I see we got a Fix-It Felix.
Yeah. Yeah, this actually, I had this built by Riddick Rick in Iowa, who would build these custom Fix-It Felix for people, and I traded him a few arcades in exchange for this. Kids love it. It's a great game, you know.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, you got to tell me about Fire Truck. That
don't-
looks like a beast.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Fire Truck, but it's from 1978, black and white game. Pretty simple. You can sit down, you can control the game where you're just controlling the cab, or you can control it from the back where the computer controls the cab and you control the back end, or you can play simultaneously and one person controls the front, person controls the back, and you got to follow the course without wrecking.
Nice.
It's actually, my kids first played it at Fun Spot, and they loved it, so
It's
that's
beautiful.
why I had to find one.
That one's in nice shape.
Yeah,
Not
it's
mint,
not,
but
yeah,
it's still-
not terrible.
It's working and it looks nice.
Yeah, it's probably in the past 2 months, it's gone down about half dozen times.
Really?
Yeah,
Already?
constant board problems.
Galaga. Everybody's got. A lot of people have Galagas. Spy Hunter.
Yeah,
It's a great
everybody
game.
that comes in the arcade, Galaga's like the first game people ask about. Literally, always the first game.
You got a Galaga. You got a Miss
Yeah.
Pac-Man.
Yeah, yep.
Centipede.
Centipede, it's actually my favorite arcade game of all time. You know, it's like, I think it was maybe the first game that was co-developed by a woman, which is pretty interesting.
It is interesting.
And it's funny that women come in here and they gravitate to Centipede. Women just love Centipede. Centipede, Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah, I love Centipede.
Donald Hayes was here last April, and we had a tournament, and his high score's still up here. He puts his initials as Who, but he put up 619,000. But Donald Hayes holds the world record on Centipede,
Oh, wow.
which is much, 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 much higher than 619,000.
That's crazy.
So,
You got a Pat Cabaret.
yeah. David Race, who holds the world record for the fastest perfect Pac-Man, comes down here on occasion. We just did a benefit for cancer last weekend. He was down here doing a perfect game, and he signed the marquee for me.
Oh, nice.
David's a great guy, a good friend of mine.
Very nice. Let me have a look at that. From what I hear, this is one of your keeper games.
Yeah, this is a 1976 Death Race. Word on the street is maybe they made about 500 of them. It was actually banned in the United States for being too violent. It was like the Grand Theft Auto of the day, because basically you're a little car and you drive around and you run over the gremlins, and then they let out a little squeal, and then you get a point. It's loosely based on the movie Death Race 2000 with
nice.
Sylvester Stallone and David Carradine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. By Exidy.
Yep, Exidy. Yep.
Yeah, very
Exidy
cool.
made some great games.
That is awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, this is one of my Holy Grail games.
Yeah, that's
Journey.
That's a 1983 Journey. Hang on a second here. They made approximately about 1,000 of them back in 1983. I don't know how well they really did or were received, but now they're very sought after by collectors.
I'm one of them. Yep. It eluded me.
This particular one actually has the original tape deck in it and cassette tape, which a lot of them, that's the problem. Somebody just made like an MP3 player that you could put in it. I'll show you that. I can put it test here and turn it on for you real quick.
Oh, sweet.
And you can hear the tape deck playing. When you get to a certain level in the game, after you get all their instruments back, then you go to the concert, and basically you got to keep the fans from rushing the stage while they're up on the stage playing their instruments.
Sweet.
Let's see. So let's see. Joystick turn off, joystick up to turn. Okay. All right. So
nice.
That's actually the cassette playing in the back of the machine.
Very nice.
Yeah. And as you can see, it's kind of, if you can see the artwork on the side, it's kind of based off the Frontiers album.
Love it. We'll take a look at the pinball machines last.
Okay.
We'll just kind of go around take a peek. Thanks for showing us the Journey. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know I'll find a Journey.
Oh yeah. If you're
It's
patient
out
enough, you could find anything. We got Robotron, which you mentioned was one of your favorites.
Yes.
Yeah,
Love
everybody likes
Robotron.
Robotron. Too hard for me. Too much
Yes.
stuff. Too much going on.
It's really hard, actually. It's very, very
Rampage.
difficult.
Kids love Rampage.
Now, who created Rampage? Is that a Bally Midway game?
Yeah, Bally Midway. Yeah, yep. And actually, I met Brian Collin, who was, one of the creators of Rampage.
Nice.
He's another class act.
Nice. Asteroids.
Yeah, everybody knows Asteroids.
Asteroids needs no introduction. You got Mousetrap is an interesting game.
Yeah, there was 3 games that I had to have when I started collecting. When my mom passed away back in 2002, but there was 3 games that we always played together, and that was Mousetrap, Ladybug, and Pepper 2,
Nice.
which I own all 3. Pepper 2 is currently non-working, but I'm working on getting that going.
Pepper 2,
So,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so those are sentimental games for me.
Sweet.
My mom loved video games.
Really?
We spent a lot of time in the arcades when I was a kid.
That is so cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. Both my parents really liked arcade games, so that was why it was such an integral part of my childhood. So that's why it was important to, introduce my 6 children to it, because they'd never know what it was like.
The next games, now looping I've heard of, I've never seen the looping.
Looping is, I don't remember looping personally from the arcade, but I played the heck out of it on ColecoVision, and I was pretty good at it.
Yeah.
But
That's where
the game is so hard. Like, I don't know what the world record on it is, but it can't be much. The game is like ridiculously hard. So, but you don't see many of them at all out there. I've never seen one in another arcade. I'm sure somebody's got one.
I've never seen one out in the hobby, just with everybody's collections. Nobody I know has got a looping.
Arabian's a fun little Atari game. Once again, if my games weren't so packed in here, you'd be able to see the artwork. It's got beautiful artwork like most of the Atari games. Just another one collectors enjoy. You don't see many of them out there.
No.
This game really is in beautiful original condition.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk about
I can't tell you a lot about Food Fight other than I'm not very good at it.
You know, I gotta say, is it kind of
so
a copy
hard.
of Robotron, or?
I'll tell you what, if you watch Andrew Wagner, who at our event last year put up over 1 million on it, you would have thought he was playing Robotron because there was so much stuff flying around the screen. I didn't even know, I couldn't tell what was going on. It was crazy. Like, I mean, I could maybe put up a couple 100,000 on it, but it's just like, it's such a fun game, but man, it's so hard. And it's got a unique joystick.
I love that joystick.
Oh yeah, it's
Now, do you
crazy.
think that Food Fight is the unofficial game?
With
The
Derek
unofficial
Sorrells?
Derek and Eric.
Yeah.
Food Fight.
I'd like to say
The
that.
classic Food Fight.
I'd like to say that it maybe at one point was, but Derek lost that fight miserably.
I think he did. Didn't he quit? He
Oh
kinda
yeah,
quit?
yeah. He quit.
That's
Yeah.
no good.
Nah.
Derek.
Yeah. I can't say anything because I'm giving up my arcade business. I can't call him a quitter.
I know. I'm just teasing.
But yeah,
I'm just
Crazy
kidding.
Climber, fun one as a kid. I used to love Crazy Climber. Terrible at this one too. We did have a gentleman come in here and set an unofficial world record on it. Really good at it. It's a hard game to play because it's random. You know, the way stuff falls and the way windows open and close. And, you know, it's not like a game like Pac-Man or something that has patterns. A lot of stuff in that game is random. So it's a very difficult game to play.
Now, is this the Tadeo version, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah.
the Mitsubishi.
No,
the
that's the
Mitsubishis.
rarer, more expensive version. Yeah,
Cool.
I just got the cheap. I got the poor man
It
version.
looks good to me.
Yeah. I actually replaced the overlay on that
Oh, it looks good.
about a year ago, so it's
Yeah, it looks
starting to
great.
get some wear. But
So track and field, I love track and field.
my wife is very good at it. Me, not so much. I gotta like hunker down, and I can't look at the screen and do it at the same time. But my wife just stands there, and she's got this like little finger thing she does, and it's like she's so ridiculously fast at it.
Literally, I just restored my cocktail
Oh,
with
really?
4-player.
I don't let my wife play it anymore.
It's a
I
great
refuse
game.
to play with her.
Okay, love Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
The
this is
Atari System 1.
Atari System 1 cab. I've got 2 games for this. They made kits for them, so I have Indiana Jones and I have Marble Madness.
Nice.
You could also put like Roadrunner in it, Peter Pack-Rat. You know, they made a few other games.
That's the more rare one,
Cues-
right?
Yeah,
Peter Pack
yeah.
Rat.
Made a few kits for it. Really neat concept they had there.
I remember I played that at the Dayton Mall. Had a cinema across the way. They had an arcade for a long time. I played Indiana Jones after seeing the movie.
Okay.
So that I just love it.
Yeah.
It's got great dialogue on it.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
It's a neat game. Yeah.
Classic Atari. Burger Time.
Another fun game. Another one I'm not good at. I'm not good at a lot of these games, but so fun. You know, and
I love Burger Time.
yeah, I don't know what they were smoking when they thought of that one either, but
Somebody was hungry.
yeah.
They had the munchies.
Yeah.
Cary, before we move to the other games, you got to tell me about the members jacket. You got to tell me about
Yeah.
Billy's members jacket. You
Yeah,
gotta have
this
that
was
on film.
Billy Mitchell's members only jacket that he gave to me last year, and he inscribed it for me. It says, "Cary, never surrender, never." Billy Mitchell, and then apparently Billy's a fan of my wife also, so I didn't know, but he put a little secret message down here inside that says, "Kim, don't forget me," with a little smiley face. So that was
Oh,
nice
boy.
of him. Billy's no longer allowed at my house.
He's banned.
He's banned. Yeah.
Banned from the ranch.
Yeah, not a game I'm particularly good at, but it was one of the first arcades I bought. Still got from wherever it originally came from, still got this Super Score monthly high.
Oh, that's kinda cool.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of neat. That's why I just left it on there.
You know,
'cause I
I
thought
think-
it was kind of cool.
One thing that you can probably agree with me on this is a lot of people like to make these games look new. I kind of like the battle scars.
Yeah,
Sometimes I don't really like to. I mean, of course you want them to look as mint as you can, but if they've got special, like sometimes
Yeah.
I'll leave the stickers from where they were licensed from, like I'll leave stickers and stuff on there without actually making it 100% restored. So
you'll find most of my games play almost perfect. You know, I like to keep my monitors looking good. You know, I like them to play good. I don't do much, if anything, with the cabinets. You know, I'm not a reseller. I'm not out trying to fix up games and flip them, anything like that. So like you said, I mean, these games aren't even supposed to be here anymore.
I know.
You know, they were only supposed to be around for a couple of years until the next game came out. So, you know, when I see cigarette burns on the overlays and, you know, scuffs and scratches, like you said, that's just battle scars. I mean, the games are 30 years old. I like to keep them as original. I've replaced a few CPOs, maybe a couple of marquees, you know, done some stuff to the, you know, the innards of the games, you know, to get them working again. But, you know, I try to keep them, you know, as original as I can.
Oh, yeah.
Game of Thrones, we just bought a LE version for our house because my wife and I both love the show and love the game.
Yeah, it's cool.
This one actually is en route from Tilt Amusements, Trent Augenstein up in Columbus. Brought it down. We had it here. We had the official launch party here for it, and it's such a great game. It's going to be leaving this Saturday, and it's going to be making its way up to the Ohio Pinball Show for the next weekend.
Nice. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's got all the LED lights.
Oh yeah,
I love the LEDs. I think that's the way to go.
Oh yeah, and the LE version's really cool because it's got color changing LEDs.
Oh, I like that.
So depending on what it's doing, all the LEDs change colors. Got an upper play field.
Love
so
it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a great game. It's a shame they're so expensive.
I know, gosh. But they put a lot of work into them.
World Poker Tour. I don't think I've ever played it. Belongs to
Really?
my buddy Matt. Once again, Matt loves it. I don't even know how to play poker.
It's cool.
Matt's a card player and a pinball player. A lot of people seem to like it. Elvira.
I love that one.
Who doesn't like Elvira?
I know.
Yeah. We got the little modesty thing on there. The family-friendly thing. So this also, Matt and I went on kind of a purchase together and purchase system together, and then I kind of sold my part off to Matt. Matt wanted it.
Nice. Yeah, I love that game.
Elvira was just here last weekend.
Really?
Horror Hound.
Really?
Yeah, and we had some people that came from West Virginia to go to Horror Hound to see her,
Really?
and then they knew we had this, so then they came here to play this.
How cool would that have been if
After
she came here to play? Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong, yeah, it's one everybody knows. Donkey Kong.
Gotta have Donkey Kong.
Yeah, once again, no good at it. You know, I'm getting rid of a lot of my games, but this one I'm keeping because I want to learn to play Donkey Kong, and hopefully I can get into one of Eric's Kong offs.
Oh yeah.
You know, one on Donkey Kong Onlines, and
I kind of want to do that too.
Maybe I can win $1.
What's your highest score in Donkey Kong?
I don't know, like 13,000. I'm terrible at it.
I've moved my way up. I finally figured out the triple jacks.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm sitting at 156,000.
Yeah, I can't even.
It's so hard. People
I probably
have
couldn't
no
break
clue.
30,000.
I love the what do you got on top of that? The topper.
Oh yeah, a friend of mine, Dave Balcom, who lives
Look at
here
how
in
cool
Ohio.
that looks.
Yeah, he has his own little business. He calls pinballtoppers.com,
Oh,
and he makes
wow.
these toppers for pinballs and arcades. Comes with a little remote, and you can make it change colors, or you can have it automatically change colors.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's like laser etched, or yeah, it's really cool. He does really good work.
Yeah, I've noticed you have a couple of those kind of in specific spots around.
He made one for my ice cold beer also.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
As you can see, in 2014 at Walter's Icon event, we kind of tried to loosely recreate the 1983 Life magazine photo outside the original Twin Galaxies in Ottumwa, Iowa. So I hauled all my cabinets up there, that were like the ones that were in the original photo shoot, and Donkey Kong was one of them that I hauled up there.
Nice.
And which is really special to me, and then now you can see it in this year's that picture's in this year's Guinness Book of World Record Gamers Edition. But I had Steve Sanders sign it and Billy Mitchell, and then Brian Koo was in the arcade a couple months ago.
Nice.
And I had Brian Koo sign it.
Love that movie. Love the movie.
Yeah. Got a Donkey Kong kill screen coming up.
I got it. Hey, Cary, I got a Donkey Kong kill stream coming up.
Yeah. There you go.
That
I'm
might
gonna
be-
call Billy right now.
That might be the yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I better call Billy. Cary's knocking on the door. Okay, Mario Brothers wide body. Love it.
Yeah. You don't see a lot of the dedicated. I don't see a whole lot of them. Usually the
don't.
ones I see are, like a Donkey Kong conversion or some type of
Yep.
conversion. Fun game. I played that one as a kid.
I've got one
Still
I'm
not
restoring
gonna-
myself. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a great game.
There's Punch Out.
Punch Out's awesome.
Another. I was good at Mike Tyson's Punch Out on Nintendo. Never, not so good at the.
Is there any difference
Arcade
between the
version.
two? Is it pretty similar? Same
well,
characters?
no, characters are different. They got all different characters. I haven't made it all the way in this game. There have been guys here that have gone all the way through it, but I can't. I can get to like fourth guy.
I spend so much time fixing the games. I really need to sit down and play.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
I don't spend enough time playing games.
You need to do that before you close shop. You just need to play some games.
Yeah, I do.
Hey, Cary, tell me about this real quick. I know it's not an arcade game, but I like what you got here with the Mario and the...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're sitting in Castle Grayskull.
I love that.
Yeah.
Gauntlet 2.
Yep, Gauntlet 2 with maybe a little icing on the...
Is that a conversion?
Probably from a party.
Was Gauntlet 2 an actual kit for Gauntlet?
Yeah, they converted them, yeah. Actually, the first game I ever bought personally that I ever owned, because it was one of my favorites, was Gauntlet, and I ended up selling it. And then I saw this for sale, and I'm like, you know what? It's like Gauntlet, but on steroids. Because I mean, like, you can have 4 warriors you want, or you can have 2 warriors and 2 Valkyries, or you don't have to just have one of each character. So they added some kind of different things to the game, and
nice.
It's not as fun on free play. It was more fun.
To put corners.
They had it right next door to my arcade, literally right next door. It was a United Dairy Farmer, and when you walked in, on the left they had Gauntlet, on the right they had Rampage, and I spent many a quarter up there. I'd run out of quarters and I'd go back home, ride my bike, and I'd come back up and play more. More Gauntlet.
What do we got next? You got Popeye.
Yeah, Popeye.
That's a pretty cool game. I love playing
Popeye's
that game.
fun. That was one of the first arcades I got. I think I picked that up. We were on vacation a few years ago, and then I saw some games I wanted on Craigslist, and we actually bought a trailer while we were on vacation.
Nice.
And then just to haul games home, and then I came home and sold the trailer.
You're a man.
So I think I picked this up in Pennsylvania.
I like your style, Cary. That's how I do stuff. I just do stuff on it.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to tell the story about Kickman.
Yeah, this actually, someone told me about it. It was in an abandoned house in West Virginia, sitting in the middle of the living room. We literally had to cut down weeds and branches and stuff to get in the front door. And right in the middle of the living room, there was a couple things in the house, and this was sitting in the middle of the living room. It didn't work. Trackball didn't work. Actually, the board set worked. Trackball didn't work.
That's half the
Power
battle.
supply needed repaired. The mirror was broke. Monitor didn't work. So we got it back in here and went through it and got it all running, and it's such a fun little game.
Is that an MCR game?
Yeah, it is an MCR game. They made Kick, and then if I have my story correct, they added the man to it later. They added Pac-Man to it, I think, to try to help boost kind of the sales or the popularity of the game by adding Pac-Man, because Pac-Man was so popular. This is from 1981, so.
Cool.
Yeah, Miss Pac-Man, everybody knows Miss Pac-Man.
Everybody knows Miss Pac-Man. Yeah.
Tron, yeah, this is a Tron that I picked up, and actually, the only game I've ever completely torn down from top to bottom. This had this cabinet built, new artwork, and then everything else in its original. The monitor, the board. I had a buddy who's a custom woodworker, and if you saw the inside of this, I mean, he routed and rabbited and did everything exactly like, if you took this apart, you almost wouldn't know that it's not the original cabinet.
It's sweet.
And I had David Cruz sign it, who holds the world record on Tron. He was here last April. I
think John Salter's trying to get the record. We'll see.
Yeah.
David seems to be just the master.
Yeah. Actually, David, Donald Hayes, who's second, and John were all here back last April.
Cool.
When we did that event. But yeah, John might as well hang it up. This is Matt's also.
Pretty cool.
If you ask Matt will say this is the greatest pinball ever made. He loves this. And I can't even play it for more than 30 seconds without wanting to pull my hair out.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, and it's got a little maze in here, and at one point, you control the little dots, and you go around the maze like you're playing Pac-Man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, people like it, though. You know what I found out about
pretty
pinball?
cool.
If you're going to have an arcade, people do not care what pinball you have. Any
That's
pinball.
True. Anything.
Seriously, people just love pinball. So I'm learning to like it.
Now, this Snapjack is an interesting game.
Yeah, it is interesting, because through all my research, I've only been able to find that there's 2 of these out there that are dedicated. And the other one is not even in the United States, it's in the Netherlands. So I actually, nothing worked on this when I got it. So put a burn-free CRT in it, replaced the old, it had some water damage. The old light fixtures were rusted out so bad they basically fell apart. So I put LEDs back here.
It looks great.
Yeah, plays great, plays 100%. So this game is actually being donated to Fun Spot in Laconia, New Hampshire.
That's amazing.
The American Classic Arcade Museum, because they have a great Universal lineup and they don't have Snapjack.
I've never ever seen one.
So it's
I saw
a
the
strange
pictures.
little game.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds you, kind of like a cross between maybe Scramble and Pac-Man.
Yeah, kind of like Jump Bug.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
like Jump Bug.
It's definitely odd.
It looks odd.
Satan's Hollow. Yeah. It's another one.
Yeah, that is a game that people either want in their collections or they're petrified to have in their collections.
Yeah. Some people are afraid they might go to hell or something.
Yeah, or something bad might happen.
Yeah.
It's possessed. Cary, talk about Warlords. What's your thoughts?
Warlords is actually a really cool game. I honestly don't remember it from when I was a kid. Actually, on Atari. I think I played it on Atari. But it the home system. But it's Warlords is kind of a cool game because it really shows you how they worked with what they had like back in 1981, because it's actually the monitors down here facing up, and it's actually a black and white monitor with a color overlay. It's got like a two-way mirror back here, and it's got like a dimensional cardboard backdrop out there to give you that like 3D look. So two people can play head-to-head on it, and you try to destroy each other's castles, and you also go head-to-head with the computer. So it's very popular. I mean, people really like this game. It's really fun.
Oh, I love it.
And of course, they made a four-player, much rarer cocktail version where four people could play simultaneously.
Now that would be fun.
That would be awesome. It is. It's a very fun game.
Sweet.
It's, I just love how they figured out ways to do things. Either inexpensively or like we said, like with the technology.
Yeah,
they
I love
had,
that.
They made things work.
Similar to Asteroids Deluxe, similar to Omega Race and how they sunk the monitor and made stuff look cool with the one-way or the reflective mirror.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
What's the story with Tutankhamun?
Tutankhamun. You know what? I used to play. There was a arcade called Fanny Farkles in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, that I used to go to, and I remember playing Tutankhamun there when I was a kid. But when we went to do that photo shoot in Iowa a couple years ago, Tutankhamun was one of the games that was in that 1983 photo, and I didn't own one. And literally, like 2 weeks before we were leaving, this popped up on Columbus Craigslist. So I drove up to Columbus and picked this thing up.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's
Sweet.
a kind of fun little maze type game.
Nice. Tell me about your row of Universal games.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, thanks. Like I said, Ladybug had a lot of sentimental value for me as a kid, as did Cosmic Avenger and Mr. Do. You see the ColecoVision box, all these Universal games, which they didn't have Snapjack, but they were on ColecoVision.
You know what? I loved ColecoVision.
I did too. I did. The worst joysticks ever.
It was the next step up from Intellivision and Atari.
The graphics.
Yeah, amazing.
I still remember the year that it came out. I saw it at a local Kroger. They had it. The system was like $200. It was almost Christmas. Remember, I got the system that year with all the games that were released at that time, and it was just like the greatest day of my life.
It was great.
Oh yeah.
And we played. I mean, I didn't play Mr. Do on ColecoVision, but I played tons of Ladybug.
Yeah, me too.
Tons of Cosmic Avenger and Mousetrap, actually.
Yeah. Yep. Mousetrap. Yep. Those are the games my mom and I played together.
And I think these cabinets are gorgeous.
Zaxxon, played Zaxxon on ColecoVision.
Yep,
Played
that's
the heck
right.
out of that on ColecoVision.
That was one of the first games they released. One of them.
Yeah. I've had Kelly Tharp come in here, who actually his world record was recently beaten on Tapper, but
who beat it?
John's
Arcade.
Yeah, John's Arcade.
Salter's Arcade.
Yeah. I'm terrible with names.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember who did it. It was on Facebook. It's okay.
Yeah.
He's the he's the record holder.
Yeah, he's the record holder. Yeah, on Tapper.
What a great game.
He'd make a good bartender.
He would.
Yep.
Okay.
This was one of my favorites as a kid.
Love Battlezone.
So you could simulate driving a tank and blowing things up.
Love Battlezone.
You can't go wrong with vector games. Vector games are just amazing.
I love them.
Yeah, no, Red Baron, like I said, I mean, you just can't go wrong with, I mean, the vector games are just so amazing, you know, what they could do with the technology at that time. You know, obviously a
was
black and white
awesome. vector.
Waiting for the game to start. I guess I could show you, but
How rare is that game?
I don't know, to be honest with you. It's so cool. You can see the little propeller going.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you know, you're shooting these biplanes down. You know, you're flying a biplane. You know,
That's really cool. Yeah,
they
that's awesome.
there's a blimp. You know, but if they shoot you, you know, you'll see bullet holes on your screen, like it's like your windshield.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
I've only seen a couple of Red Barons out there in the wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Turbo, awesome.
Turbo, yeah. Yeah, I've heard so many horror stories about Turbo. Once again, I used to play the heck out of it on ColecoVision.
I love Turbo.
You know, everybody I've talked to, I've owned one, and you know, things always been broken, or I can't get it working, or it quit working, and can't fix it. And I got this from a guy, basically paid nothing for it. He said, just take it, it doesn't work. He said the board set fell out of the back of it. A couple ribbon cables were torn off, pulled the pins completely off the PCB. Literally, I spent like 15 minutes resoldering all these little pins, plugged it in. That was over 2 years ago. Knock on wood, it's worked ever since.
Working.
I don't know how. And I told myself if it ever goes down, I'm not going to try,
You know
try
what?
to fix
I
it.
love the sound effects in Turbo.
Yeah.
Amazing. And the subwoofer, amazing.
Yeah, and the cabinet's actually in really nice shape.
It is nice. Okay.
Defender,
everybody knows.
everybody remembers Defender.
That's an awesome
probably one of the
game.
best. You know, probably I don't know statistically, but I think it's one of like, you know, highest grossing arcade games of all time.
One of them. Yep.
Yeah.
Pac-Man Defender, Miss Pac-Man.
Yep.
Okay. Love Wizard of War.
Yeah, Wizard of War.
Love it.
In the early 80s, my uncle had an arcade in Hamilton, Ohio. And when you were a little kid, I'll say I was like 10 years old maybe, to, you know, for your uncle to have an arcade, take you in there before it's open, let you play games for free when no one else is in there, make you slush puppies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I spent so much time on Wizard of War. I literally found this like within a mile from where his arcade was located a few years ago.
It's a must-have. I haven't ever owned one, but I definitely want to add one.
And I just always tell myself this could have been the one that I played on when I was a kid.
Hey, it might be.
So you know, you never know.
You never know.
Sinistar, this game used to scare the bejesus out of me.
Love it.
I like to play it, but gosh darn it, as soon as I hear I live,
It's
you know,
hard.
I hunger, I'm like, great. You know, because if you didn't have enough Cinnabons, you're in trouble.
My 3-year-old's not even fazed by it. He was actually mimicking it the other day.
Oh man.
He was like, I live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah, the voices in it are awesome.
You know, and from what I've seen out in the collector's world, Sinistar's actually become kind of hard to get lately.
Yeah.
And like you said, some people really want this game and some people have no interest. So it's kind of hit or miss with Sinistar, I guess.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, there's a few of them out there, and you know, there was a local arcade that had a cockpit, but I think he might have pulled it because he was having some issues with the game. But he had a cockpit version of it.
Yeah, yours is in nice shape. The artwork's really great. Yeah, great game. Moon Patrol.
Moon Patrol. It seems so simple, but it's not.
Yeah, I love Moon Patrol.
Another one. Rally X, one of my buddy Joel West's favorite games.
Really?
Another one that's hard because it's random. You know, there's
like Bosconian, like the way it's laid out with the.
It's just there's no
radar
pattern.
scope.
There's no pattern to it. It's just random, so it's really difficult. You know, difficult game to play. I think we had a gentleman here last April when we had that tournament, and Mark Shields, I think he put up like 156,000 on or something, which is ridiculous.
Did Joel West ever have a record on that game?
Yeah, he did. He did
time?
have the world record on Rally X at one time. Mm-hmm.
All right, Cary, let's see what else we got.
Yep, Jungle King.
Love Jungle King.
Yep, which is, you know, it was Jungle King, and then they changed it to Jungle Hunt because they went through that kind of licensing thing with Tarzan. So they changed them to Jungle Hunt.
Nice.
This has been one of my more problematic games as far as vectors go. Obviously, it's a color vector. It wasn't the first color vector. Tempest was actually the first color vector, but probably the most popular, at least now, vector game. You know, everybody wants Star Wars.
Yep.
You know, back in
Prices going through the roof.
Oh yeah, back in 1983 when this thing came out, you know, it was just so amazing. And you know, then they eventually converted them, you know, a lot of them to Empire Strikes Back,
Yep.
which just also has a kit in it, so it plays Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, and you know, just something you could never emulate. You know, just the way the controls, and you know, kids come in here and you know, I let them put the helmet on,
Nice.
and you know, and then
Nice.
they feel like they're actually, you know, flying an X-wing fighter. So just a classic vector game. I mean, you know, you can't
Love it.
go wrong with Star Wars.
No, you cannot.
Everybody loves Star Wars. So
Okay, Cary, talk about ice cold beer. I love this game. It's fantastic.
oh man, ice cold beer. I don't play this a lot, believe you know, but it is a challenging game. Basically, you know, you just have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, through the lit holes all the way to the top. This is another one from 1983. I don't know if it's true, but I heard they used to have these in bars. And you know, maybe if you got the 10, you got a free beer or
Oh,
something.
nice.
They made a family-friendly version of this called Zeke's Peak, which maybe you've heard of.
Yep.
It's actually a little tougher to. Ice cold beer is not easy to find, but Zeke's Peak's actually even tougher to find.
Nice. Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah.
And there's those great toppers that you got.
Oh yeah. Yep. Pinballtoppers.com.
Love
Yep.
it.
Dave Balcom. So he does a lot of toppers for a lot of games.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
if anybody's interested, it just takes patience is something I don't have a lot of, but
I don't either.
this game takes just steady hands and a lot of patience.
Yeah, I love it. Sweet.
So obviously you don't want to.
You're good at
Yeah, I'm still at the easy part.
it. To me, it seems like a great party game. Like if you got
Yeah.
people that aren't, you know, connoisseurs, anybody could walk up to that and play it, have a little fun with it.
It's actually extremely popular here at the arcade because, like you said, I mean, people find it very challenging. I mean,
Yeah, I love it.
once you get to the point where you can somewhat master it, it's not as fun.
You know what is really great about it is I love the response of the joysticks.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
yeah,
They
and you
did a
just
great
kind of get a
job.
feel for it after a while.
Yeah, I even like the scoring is pretty cool right there at the bottom. Bottom left corner. Very cool.
Yeah, we actually had a young man come in here and set an unofficial world record on this. Played for 7.5 hours. Score with a score of his final score I think was 410,000.
Wow. Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, because the score flips every 10,000. You get an extra ball at 2,000. So then when the score flips again, then at 2,000 again, you'll get another extra ball. It's usually when you get to about hole 7.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
Yeah, that's a cool game. I think if I had a chance to pick one up, I would.
yeah, I searched for one of these for literally about 2 years, and then I was actually, I just picked up a game about 20 minutes from here. It was POW, the game POW. It was on Craigslist. It was cheap. You know, I'm like, I'm gonna pick it up, and I was getting on this local highway, cross county highway, and literally I was sitting at a light, and I just happened to check Craigslist, and it popped up right in front of my eyes. Literally, just popped up, and I immediately called the lady, and it was an hour away from here, so I had a 20-minute drive back from here. The lady had it for a certain price. It was pretty steep. I said, "Hey, would you take this?" And she's like, I just listed it.
Wow.
She's like, I'd like to wait and see, if I can get what I'm asking for. And I said, okay, that's fine, I understand. 5 minutes later, she called me back. She said, okay, I'll take it. So I came back here, dropped off POW, and then drove an hour west to pick this up at her house. Her husband had this game, the only game he had. He had recently passed away, and he really liked this game.
So she had a tough time letting it go.
Yeah. So.
That's a great game.
Yeah.
So is that Walter Day's shirt?
This is not actually one of his actual shirts, but it is got a lot of signatures on it. Basically, when I was in Iowa, they were taking donations for something, and for the Video Game Hall of Fame, and they had like kind of a bid and buy thing.
Oh wow!
So it had William Carlton. It was Missile Command World Record. He was trying. He was actually in the movie High Score, trying to get the world record on Missile Command. That was William Carlton. There we got George Lutz, Joel West, Walter Day, Billy Mitchell, Tim McVeigh, Richie Knuckles, Faith Knuckles, Steve Sanders. So just a bunch of autographs on there. Something kind of cool. Something I'll hang on to. My kids will have when they get older.
Yeah, this is great.
Our high scoreboard. There's a few ridiculously high scores up there.
Jeez, look at that. That's crazy.
Put up there by some of the greatest gamers of all time who've been here. Billy Mitchell's been here.
Wow.
Donald Hayes has been here. Big Jim Linderman's been here. Walter Day's been here. Joel West has been here. Brian Koo's been here. Richie Knuckles has been here. John Salter's been here. David Race, David Cruz.
Yeah, this place has been great.
Estelle Goffnet. So we've had our share of great gamers come through this arcade in a short time.
Very appreciative of you sharing the arcade with me. And
no problem.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, my friend.
No problem.
All right, let's go play some games.
All right.
All right. All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Arcade Hollywood. A very special thanks goes out to my friend Cary Chaney. Once again, wanted to give a shout out to my good friend Mike Miller and his band Origami for providing me with all the excellent music for this channel. You can check him out at origami.tumblr.com. Coming soon to Arcade Hollywood, we will have the long-awaited Kong Off 4 movie trailer. We will return to the place for the farewell episode. We will also travel to Pittsburgh to check out Pinball, PA, and we will have an exclusive episode at Arcade Super Awesome. We have a jam-packed summer, so please subscribe. Don't forget, you can check me out on Twitter, Arcade Hollywood, at Hollywood Arcade. We are also out there on Facebook and Google+. Email me with any comments or questions at discohollywood1@gmail.com. All right, this does it for another episode of Arcade Hollywood. Until next time, rock on.